The year was 2024, a year that would be remembered for its catastrophic impact on the automotive industry. This was the year the industry didn't just hit a speed bump, it drove straight off a financial cliff. Engines sputtered, and the once thriving car market came to a screeching halt. Corporate dreams died spectacular deaths. The giants of the industry, once thought invincible, crumbled under the weight of their own ambitions. Jobs vanished into thin air, faster than a politician's promise. Thousands of workers found themselves suddenly unemployed, their livelihoods ripped away. Supply chains snapped like dry, brittle twigs in a hurricane. The intricate web of global logistics unraveled, leaving chaos in its wake. Global production lines, once the thumping heartbeats of modern industry, fell disturbingly silent. The hum of machinery was replaced by an eerie stillness. Picture those vast factories usually buzzing with activity, now just cavernous halls collecting dust. The silence was deafening, a stark reminder of the industry's collapse. This wasn't just a slowdown, it was a global shutdown of monumental proportions. The ripple effects were felt in every corner of the world. So, how did we arrive at this desolate automotive wasteland? Was it sheer incompetence, bad luck, or a cosmic joke? Likely a mix of all three. The debates raged on, but answers remained elusive. The chaos was palpable, a thick fog of uncertainty. People were left bewildered, trying to make sense of the sudden collapse. And the desperate search for answers was only just beginning. Buckle up, folks. The journey to uncover the truth behind this automotive apocalypse is going to be a bumpy ride. Let's talk numbers. Traditional automotive powerhouses? They were in for a rude awakening. Europe, Japan, and North America saw production plummet to unprecedented lows. These weren't mere market corrections, these were craters of industrial devastation, leaving factories eerily silent. Amidst all this carnage, one nation was humming a different tune: China. While the rest of the world struggled, China thrived. While established automakers were laying off workers, Chinese factories were churning out cars like there was no tomorrow. Their production lines were buzzing with activity. Suddenly, China looked like the world's only functioning car dealership. Showrooms were packed and sales were booming. Traditional automakers underestimated new, agile competitors, particularly from Asia. These new players were quick to adapt and innovate. They clung to outdated business models and fossil fuel technologies, unable to pivot to the changing demands of the market. By the end of 2024, the global automotive manufacturing map looked radically different. The shift was seismic. Those once proud capitals of car production were starting to resemble automotive ghost towns. The silence was deafening. And the new capital of car making? It was flying a lot of bright red flags. The shift was undeniable, and the world had to take notice. Let's delve into the bizarre part of this saga, the car showrooms. With fewer cars being made, some dealerships had forecourts emptier than a politician's list of kept promises. Yet, the vehicles they did have sported price tags that could make even a seasoned oligarch blush. In other regions, unsold cars were piling up like unwanted Christmas fruitcakes. Dealerships were practically begging people to take them off their hands. It was a confusing, utterly contradictory landscape. This crisis wasn't a one-size-fits-all disaster. Consumer confusion was rampant. People didn't know whether to buy, sell, or just hide under their beds. In that climate of fear, splashing out on a new car felt like a high-stakes gamble. Europe's engine stalls, a continent in crisis. Europe, the historic cradle of automotive innovation, faced a spectacular failure. Factory gates slammed shut with depressing regularity. Iconic brands teetered on the brink of collapse. Thousands of workers faced unemployment. The cherished European dream of a stable job evaporated. And then came the imports, flooding the market from China. European carmakers watched in horror as their markets were overrun. Ripple effects. When the car industry sneezes, economies catch pneumonia. The car industry isn't just about making and selling cars, it's a sprawling ecosystem, deeply intertwined with the global economy. When it collapsed, it dragged other sectors down with it. Steel, rubber, glass, electronics, even local diners felt the impact. Towns built around car plants faced economic devastation. Local businesses withered and died. The social cost was immense. National economies felt the impact like a punch to the gut. Governments panicked, throwing money at the problem. This debacle was a lesson in systemic risk and economic interconnectedness. Stability, as 2024 taught us, is incredibly fragile. Policy pileups and expert head-scratching. Governments felt compelled to do something, anything, to look in control. Subsidies were announced, often without much thought. Bailouts were whispered about, then shouted by populist leaders. New regulations added complexity. The push for electric vehicles was a masterclass in how not to manage a transition. There weren't enough charging stations and many didn't work. The cost of batteries remained high, consumers were hesitant and skeptical. Experts offered conflicting strategies and jargon: restructure your business model, innovate faster, embrace the digital future. The real challenge was complex, supporting an industry without propping up failing models. Encouraging true innovation, not just clever marketing. How do you support an industry vital for millions of jobs without creating zombie companies? There were no easy answers. Navigating the wreckage towards a hopefully brighter automotive future. The year 2024, the Great Car Crash. It was a year that will be remembered for its unprecedented challenges and the profound impact it had on the automotive industry. A 12-month symphony of automotive agony. The industry faced a relentless barrage of setbacks, from supply chain disruptions to plummeting sales. The industry took a savage beating, reshaping its foundations. Factories closed, workers were laid off, and showrooms stood empty, echoing the silence of a once thriving market. The lessons learned were paid for in cash, shattered businesses, and lost livelihoods. The financial toll was immense, but the human cost was even greater. Is there a path out of this wreckage? Yes, but it's not a smooth road. The journey to recovery is fraught with obstacles, but it's a journey we must undertake. Recovery demands grit, investment, and a willingness to change. It requires a collective effort from all stakeholders, from investors to engineers, to rebuild and innovate. Innovation and stability are key. We must embrace new technologies and ensure that our factories are resilient and adaptable to future challenges. We need transformative technological leaps in battery technology, sustainable materials, and autonomous driving. These advancements will pave the way for a more sustainable and efficient automotive future. We need stable, predictable policies from governments. Clear and consistent regulations will provide the framework needed for long-term growth and stability. No more sudden knee-jerk reactions. Thoughtful and well-planned policies will help the industry navigate future uncertainties. Car makers, suppliers, and consumers need clarity. Transparent communication and collaboration will be essential in rebuilding trust and confidence in the market. Can we dream of a brighter automotive future? Perhaps. With the right strategies and a commitment to innovation, we can turn this vision into reality. A future that's smarter and cleaner, less prone to meltdowns. By focusing on sustainability and smart technology, we can create a more resilient industry. Let's stop staring at the crash scene and get on with it. The clock is ticking. It's time to move forward, rebuild, and create a brighter future for the automotive industry.